Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to be featuring the Großer Kurfürst, the German legendary tier battleship, and in this game I am using a full secondary build with Henry J. Hyde as my captain. I completely understand that a lot of people don't like when ships go through mid, especially when most of the time the people that do go through mid absolutely just YOLO and end up dying. But if you know how to use mid and to actually use it effectively, going up mid is actually really beneficial for your team. And pushing up mid, there is an enemy Alaska and an enemy Des Moines that is pushing towards us. Since the Alaska has a 32mm bow, my first target is going to be the Des Moines, which I can overmatch. And with my first salvo, I destroy one of his turrets and take most of his HP. I focus my secondaries on him since my secondaries will be able to pen him, and it's just absolutely melting him, and he ends up dying just like that. Now it's a 2 versus 1 against this Alaska with Xatu there in the Worcester. And now the Alaska's in a whole bunch of trouble since he now just has to stay bow in. The destroyer's torpedoes get spotted because we are working together with our sonars, and the DD launches them from so far away. There is more than enough space to dodge them. Unfortunately, this Alaska, all he does is reverse and stay bow into us because he has a 32mm bow, which is the same as battleships, so we can't overmatch him. And really, the 30mm bow I don't think should be on the Alaska. If anything, the most should be 27, because simply being bow in and reversing is just promoting poor gameplay. I have seen way too many bow in Alaskas that just simply reverse and do what this guy did, and really there isn't a whole lot of skill in just sitting bow in and really reversing. I would very much rather have the ships have an overmatchable bow, while the casemate is much better armored so that it emphasizes angling instead of bow tanking. The only real way I see ships being bow in and reversing basically not being part of this game much longer is if they fix propulsion mod, because that thing is bugged. The propulsion mod is only supposed to increase the time, or rather decrease the time it takes to reach max speed, whether it's in forward or reverse, not actually increase the speed that your ship reverses. Battleships without propulsion mod typically should be reversing around 13 knots, but when you're using propulsion mod, you're reversing closer to 20 knots. So that 50% is, for whatever reason, being added to the ship's overall top speed in reverse, which is very odd and honestly not something that should exist, considering that PC also has an acceleration bug when using the last stand skill. I'm not surprised that this is a bug here, and it's been around for 3 years. Still waiting for them to make actual meaningful changes to bugs in this game. However, getting back to the game, Xatu sitting in fully packed gets his radar back, and we're trying our best to kill off this destroyer. However, he is at the edge of Xatu's radar and he does end up getting away. I am getting back my heal in 30 seconds, and a bunch of torpedoes get spotted. Fortunately, the Massachusetts that has pushed in front of us is going to eat 2 torpedoes that would have most likely hit us and maybe killed us off. But luckily, he ate those 2 torps and pushed in front to tank damage like battleships should. A friendly destroyer does end up coming through mid following us from behind and starts laying a smoke screen. And now I really want to try and get in this smoke screen and just let my secondaries farm, since I won't be spotted as long as I don't shoot my main guns. So far, pushing up mid has been a fairly effective strategy in this game, especially since we were able to get rid of 2 radar cruisers right off the bat. And once again, in this game is a pretty good example of what going through mid intelligently does. If you're in mid and you're not YOLOing, you do draw back ships towards the opening on the enemy side of the map, which we did with the enemy destroyers, that Minotaur, and really now this Massachusetts. Both flanks are pretty much won for our team, and the enemies are all pretty much just dying at this point. I get a close quarters expert with GK's 150s being able to pen 32. Again, like I said in the Siegfried video, I do wish the 128s also were able to pen 32 millimeters instead of only being able to pen 31. If it was able to pen 32, I probably would have also wrecked that Alaska, since my secondaries would pen his bow, trying to kill off this destroyer. Unfortunately, Zatu is just right against my ship and blocking a lot of my secondaries from shooting. Having 4 kills and there is 1 ship remaining, I am hunting for a Kraken. The rune is in my secondary range, and now my secondaries are going to start farming him. And since the rune only has 27 millimeters of plating, my secondaries will be able to get pen damage. I take my last salvo at him, and I am able to land a few shells, and I secure the Kraken, going through mid on 2 brothers. This is a really good example of how and why going through mid is actually a pretty good strategy if you know how to utilize it, which, to be fair, most of the player base does not actually utilize going through mid very well because they just YOLO and end up dying. Somewhat like the Des Moines and Alaska, considering that they were both radar cruisers, they could have definitely been able to radar us very early and have figured out that they probably should stop pushing through mid, or at least come up with a better plan. But that's about it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Do leave a like and subscribe for more. Leave a comment down below for any ships you want to see in the future. But until next time, aloha.